Flying Mike Faria, number 9. Been racing for Speedway for 36, but racing for 41 years. Well, so far, I think it was last Friday night at IMS winning Mike Faria night. You know, that was a highlight so far this year. Things have been pretty rough on me this year, you know, with bike equipment and stuff like that. But, you know, I keep going, you know. Give me 2 wheels and a racetrack, and I'm usually there. Well, I've always had the newest and the latest stuff, you know, and you got to stay with the times of changing and stuff like that, technology, how it goes and stuff. So I've always made sure I had that kind of stuff, and it's done me good. But, you know, after so many years, you pretty well know what you're looking for, and you know how to adapt to it and adapt to a racetrack.
Flying Mike Faria, he had to start in Speedway back in the day. Back in the early days of the 70s, he was a motocrosser turned Speedway rider, and boy, was he a Speedway rider from the beginning. Flying Mike Faria was a star. Steve Lucero, do you remember the bad boy, Steve Lucero? But Mike was just an amazing rider. He won so many championships with Bobby Schwartz, too. He rode in England and was riding for the British League, and he just was just a talent. Michael Faria was just an incredible rider. He knew how to win main events, too. He probably has a record for the most scratch main event wins, and he just rode for many, many years, 30, 40 years. Michael Faria was just an amazing rider. He was just a good guy, multi-time United States Speedway champion. Michael Faria was one of the greatest Speedway riders in United States history ever. Michael Freo was strong.
Well, I've never really seen Madeline ride outside of practice here, but hopefully we're both going to put on a pretty good show, and it'll be a competitive race.
Bobby Hunter, considered one of the best women speedway riders with the great Ivan Major. Bobby Hunter was just a talent. She was a star. Like I say, one of the greatest women speedway riders with Gene Woods and Dennis Siggy Segalos. And she raced against Ove Funden's daughter. She was a star. She was good. She was a hot shoe. This girl could ride a speedway bike. She was beating Division I riders. And she was a pretty little gal. And she knew how to twist that throttle. She had support from her family, her mom and dad, and she had a crash to end her career. But Bobby Hunter is still an amazing woman, and she's living today and doing well.
Hello, my name is Scott Sivage. My number is 34 from Chatsworth, California, on the West team.
Scott Sivage. Scott was one of the great young speedway riders of the 70s. He was a hard charger. Scott Sivage just knew how to ride that speedway bike, and he was gifted. He was sponsored by Garden Grove Datsun, and he knew how to ride. He won many main events, and Scott Sivage was, like I say, a hard charger. He was good friends with lots of speedway riders. He could ride that bike. He could twist that throttle. He could win races. Scott Sivage was a good rider. Here he is with Cody. He was friends with Slide and Sonny Nutter, and he just was good. Scott Sivage was a regular on the scene in the 70s, and he just knew how to ride for the Ventura Sharks and the West Coast Speedway League. Today, Scott Sivage is doing well, and he's friends with Billy the Bullet Meister, and he's just a good guy.
I'm Mark Cherry. I'm from Reseda, California. I'm number 7 on the West team.
Mark Cherry was a regular speedway rider of the 70s. He was a good quality Division I rider. He mixed it up with the big boys, even though he was a little small. Mark Cherry, his stature, his racing ability was large. Mark Cherry is also married to Bruce Penhall's sister back in the day, and they're still happily married today. The Flying Flea, Sammy Tanner.
He was thinking, what am I going to do? So he got a pencil and he wrote on a paper a song, The Flying Flea. And then he went to a recording studio close by. He paid the guy a few bucks. He went ahead and recorded this song. For those of you that don't know, Sammy was a professional singer. Here's his song, The Flying Flea. The Flying
in the motorcycle event of the century with the flying flea to the outside, moving out the lead. Flash off for second, sideburns for third, and it's the flying flea, the boys see jumping into a strong lead. Oh, he's cracking an egg. Just 5 feet tall, but it's the fleet. The flying flea flying across that finish line at number 1 position. Your winner, the flying flea. Well, I was born in a Texas shack. I took one look and said, send it back. No stonier lunch ever lived in me than I'm known as a blind flea. White leather pants and a leather coat, that's the only care for me. Well, when I dig out, I'm 10 feet tall. They call me the flying flea. I always thought I wouldn't trade that for the tallest, biggest black silk hat. And I live when they cheer for me. I feel very big, the blind flea. White leather pants and a leather coat, that's the only care for me. When I dig out, I'm 10 feet tall. They call me the flying flea. Now the gun goes off, I'm here to warn you, Jack. I'm gonna do my best to blow you off the track. Instead of making history, so move aside for the blind flea. White leather pants and a leather coat, that's the only care for me. When I dig out, I'm 2 feet tall. They call me the blind flea.
He was a businessman at an early age. He got a big stack of these records. He sold them after the races. He signed autographs on the records, and he sold them to the teeny bops. Ascot Park in Gardena opened in 1959, promoted by J.C. Agajanian, the famous J.C. And Sammy caught wind, he was in Florida, that this park, this half-mile racetrack in California was going to open. Sammy made a collect call to JC and said, I'm Sammy Tanner. I would like you to pay my way, my expenses, my gas money from Florida. I want to come to Gardena. I want to race that half mile. So JC went ahead and agreed on this particular offer by Sammy. And Sammy went ahead and he won opening night, the half mile at Gardena. But he won the next 5 of 6 events, the main events at Gardena. And Sammy Tanner was crowned the king of Ascot Park.
Jan Ballard, I rode for 14 years. I ended in about 1985. Just time to quit. I ran out of bones to break. Oh, I had the best time of my life. It was something me and my dad did. My dad owned the bikes. I just ride them and wreck them and blow them up, and ended up meeting my wife at Costa Mesa, and my life would be totally different without it. I wouldn't change a thing.
Jan Ballard. Jan was just a great rider. Number 32, and he wore those blue and white leathers. Jan Ballard was just a gifted rider. He rode for many years. Number 32, that was Jan Ballard.